Pronto, Vincenza.
Pronto, Randy, and welcome everyone to Pronto Podcast, our lifestyle podcast where we talk about all the beautiful things life has to offer, whether it be inspiration, stories, fashion, self-care, motivation, you name it. We just love to talk about it. Welcome everyone to our 26th podcast, number 26, and growing, and I love it.
Yeah, it's spring.
I know, it's spring. I love that. My favorite part of the year is when the season changes from winter to spring. It is by far my favorite season, or the transition of seasons. But I was just sharing with my family how much I love Easter. So it is the Easter season. I love this time of the year also because the changing of the weather and the seasons, but also this holiday week. So if you're celebrating Easter or you're celebrating spring break or you're just celebrating the changing of the season, so much to be thankful for. And it is really a beautiful time of the year.
Yeah. Easter is early this year.
Yeah, right? It is. It is. You're right. Usually it's a little bit later, but it's here and it's going to be gone again, gone. And then we're on to the next holiday. But anyway, Randy, what's new? What's been new with you? What's happening?
We're preparing for spring. This is a big bridal season for us.
That's right. That's
proms.
Right. Okay. Yes, that's right.
So, the business is starting to pick up.
That is very true. We are diving into prom season and bridal season and pageant season. Pageant season. That's right. Which, since we're talking about it, I'm going to dive right into it. It is the 2024 Miss Delaware USA, Miss Delaware Teen USA pageant happening in April. April 28th is the exact date of the pageant. Mark your calendars. I hope you're there for the in-person event. It will be held at the Laird Performing Arts Center in Wilmington, Delaware. Ticket information is online at missdelawareusa.com. So mark your calendars for April 28th. Also, we still are accepting applications. Actually, this is the last week. The last week registrations will close after this week. So if you're interested in joining the sisterhood, go to visit missdelawareusa.com for more information. Apply today. Join the sisterhood, join the experience. There's still a chance, still a time. Also, if you're interested in sponsoring, visit the website as well for more information. We're always looking for generous sponsors. We are very fortunate that we have a generous sponsor like Curry Hair, Skin and Nails that supports this cause, this supports this organization. They believe in what it stands for, about empowering women. And that's what it's all about. So definitely check it out. And Randy, again, thank you for your generosity with the support to the organization.
We love being a sponsor and getting to know the pageant winners, and it's so quick, like the year goes by so quick.
It does. It does. It's before you know it, a blink of the eye, and it's like, okay, we're back to the beginning again. But I truly enjoy the journey and I've been very blessed. I've experienced being Miss Delaware USA many, many, many years ago. And it was it was a once in a lifetime experience. It really was. And it was the best year of my life. I truly treasured every single second of that opportunity. And I'm very thankful that I had that opportunity. But now that I look back at it, I realize, wow, it's truly just a once in a lifetime moment that I get to look back at and be like, wow, that was wonderful. I'm so happy that I had the courage to step out of my comfort zone, trying something new and different, and then learn about it and educate myself about what pageants have to offer. And it was something that has made me into the person that I am today. I would have probably never become a TV personality or a podcast host or a model, a commercial, commercial model, you name it. I probably would not have the courage or confidence to be in front of a camera if I did not step out of my comfort zone and try a pageant, try the Miss Delaware Teen USA pageant to be exact. That was my very, very first pageant. Wow. And I'm so glad that I did, because I was able to acquire skills that not just helped me be successful on the pageant stage, but in life. And that's what it's all about. You're learning life skills that you could take with you for, in whatever career you decide you want to pursue. And I'm constantly using those skills, whether it's at the restaurant,
Right.
The ice cream place, the television show, or here on the podcast at Pronto. So it's once in a lifetime opportunity.
Communication, right?
Exactly. Communication is key.
Yep.
So that'll be I'll be busy for the next few weeks. So if you need to find me, that I will be in pageant mode the next few weeks, because literally from now all the way until April 28th, I'll be very laser focused on the pageant. So if you need to find me, I'll be in pageant mode. Randy, you'll know how to find me.
Yep.
So other than busy with prom season and pageant season too for you, right? Prom and bridal season, wedding season. How's school going?
Well, I'm happy to say I'm going to graduate with my associate's degree in May.
That's wonderful. Congratulations.
And I'm thinking about going out and walking.
Oh, you should.
Yeah.
You so should. Can we please make sure this happens
Yeah.
and take pictures, please?
The cap and gown.
Yes, I want the full get up.
Okay.
You deserve it. You deserve it. That's something that you set out to do. You know what? Let's rewind a little bit. We have some new listeners and new viewers that tune in to our Pronto podcast. Share with them, just to reiterate a little bit about your career in school, because I don't think they know.
L'Oreal offers a program called the LEAD program, and it's, they give you 31 credits for going back to school for your beauty license.
Excellent.
So they first approached me, and I said, I have too much going on, and then I thought about it. I can't refuse it, right?
Right.
I want to show my kids you can do anything if you put your mind to it. Right?
Exactly. That's so true. Being the example, leading by example. Now, did you go to college before you started Curly Hair, Skin and Nails?
No.
Did you hear that, everyone? It's never too late.
Well, in fact, when I started, I got a 50th year anniversary for my high school.
Really?
So I was doing homework when I received the email.
See, and that's what I wanted to share. I know your story, but I wanted to share that little tidbit with our new listeners and new viewers that are tuning into our Pronto podcast, that it's never too late to follow your dreams. Yeah. It's never too late to seek out that goal that you always wanted to achieve, or check off that adventure on that bucket list. But for you, it was never too late to go back to school and get that education, because education is also key. And you did that, and you are leading by example, not just to, for your family, but the ones around you, the ones in your circle, your team, your all of your Curly Hair, Skin and Nails locations, that it's never too late to go back to school, and you should never stop learning.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? You have to be open-minded to learning.
It was a fabulous opportunity, and I learned a lot, and it's really challenging for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned to get things done quickly.
There you go.
To put it off.
That's right. Don't procrastinate, right? Yeah. Procrastination is just
killer.
Bad. Yes, it's a killer. It's very, very bad. I used to procrastinate back in the day. And I'm so proud of myself that I got out of that habit, because it was not good. You're setting yourself up for failure. If you put something off, and then you wait until the last minute to do it, you might not get lucky whether, you complete it or not. But it's just, you're just setting yourself up, yes, for failure, but also anxiety and stress. Who needs stress? We already deal with life. Life is stressful as is. Let's try to prevent these stressful situations and plan a little bit better, and time management, or being organized. And I will give credit to my year as Miss Delaware USA that helped me kick all those bad habits. It's true. When I was Miss Delaware USA, I had a few bad habits as far as time management, procrastinating. And I remember working with my team, working with my mentors, and I was able to kick all those bad habits. I love being on time. I love being early, actually. That's like something I stress. Being early, being on time. Even when I'm coming here, preparing my wardrobe, not waiting until the last minute to review notes, making sure that you give yourself plenty of time, because something may go wrong and you have to be able to adapt quickly. And it's better to adapt quickly in that moment and you'll be okay. It won't be like the end of the world and you won't stress yourself out. So something I learned how to kick those bad habits through my year as Miss Delaware USA. And I continue to practice good habits since then. So you're always practicing those good habits.
In my 2 years of sponsoring the pageants, I took note of the winners, and they're fabulous young girls.
Mm-hmm.
They're all that, like they're organized,
Mm-hmm.
like they're successful.
Yes. They're very organized, but goal driven.
Yeah.
Very goal driven. And I think that's what is the key to their success. They set a goal and they worked hard for those goals. They did not give up. They persevered. And I think that's what makes them so successful.
Yeah.
So, but speaking of successful, we have a very successful and dynamic woman on the show today. Super excited to introduce our guest. Laura DiFrancesco is an entrepreneur and corporate attorney, founder of Dean Street Law, Flourish Co-working Space, and Ethereal Farms. Laura is a thought leader in a personal development, business, and corporate law. She leverages her experience negotiating hundreds of multi-million and multi-billion-dollar transactions and representing thousands of companies to create business and legal resources to help protect and scale businesses. In addition, she was the first student in the University of South Carolina's history to triple major in 3 years and went on to complete her Juris Doctorate and Master's of Business Administration in 3 years at Villanova University. Wow. Laura has been awarded the Herman Mitchell Schwartz Award for her contribution to the achievement of equality and opportunity and treatment for women, the Dorothy Day Service Award for her pro bono contributions to the community, and the Emerging Leader of the Year Award from the Mainline Chamber of Commerce for achievements in her career. She champions creating a world where everyone can come as they are and be fully celebrated and respected for their individuality and self-expression. She is redefining what it looks like to be a successful woman in business. Her mission is to support and inspire billions of women and entrepreneurs to show up as the most authentic versions of themselves and share everything she knows to help them flourish. Please welcome the dynamic Laura DiFrancesco.
Welcome, Laura.
Thank you. Hi, Randy. It's so great to be here on the Pronto podcast. Thank you so much for having me.
It is our honor to have you on the show. Wow, Laura, what a bio.
Yeah. Makes my associate's degree look like small.
No. You're showing, right?
You're a very accomplished entrepreneur, and I am so proud of all that you've accomplished.
Right.
And likewise, Vincenza, it was so wild to me being on the podcast with you, seeing you do the introduction, because if you remember when we used to set up the camera and do YouTube well over a decade ago, it just felt like things coming full circle.
Oh, yes. Okay.
So you practice?
Okay. So we have lots to catch Randy up. So for those of you who don't know, Laura and I have a long-standing friendship. She's a wonderful human being all around, obviously. And I am so honored to have her on our show. But I've known Laura for quite some time. And many years ago, Laura and I decided to start a YouTube channel. So this was before podcasts were a thing. This was like, we were ahead of our times, right, Laura? We were ahead. So we had a YouTube channel. What was it called? Oh my goodness. Was it called True Beauty? Yes.
True Beauty. That's it.
True Beauty. And we would bring all of our knowledge from all of our experiences, and whether it was in our careers, in education, in pageants, and fashion, and just everything that we absolutely loved and then we were passionate about in our own lives, we brought it to the table and we would talk about it. And we had different topics. It was a great show, in my opinion.
We should have had a clip.
Oh my gosh, we should have. Can you imagine? Honestly, if our production team wants to Google True Beauty on YouTube, you probably can find them. It's still there. Laura left them up there for everyone to see.
I can't wait.
On YouTube. If they're able to pull that up. I don't know if they'll be able to do it in the time frame that we're here, but there's some great information up there. But it was really a different time, because right now we're set up with these fancy microphones and lights and everything, and it was easy for us to attain this equipment. you couldn't get it online. You had to go to your university or a location, a store, and rent it. And it was so much work we had to do. I had to go through the whole process. I had to rent all the equipment, and then we had to hook it up. And it was just very different. Wi-Fi was very difficult. It was such a different time. Now we're spoiled. Now it's so easy for us to, I'm gonna interview you remotely. You don't even have to leave your house. So it's all good.
You didn't have a Ken and Ryan?
No, it was Laura and Vincenza doing it all.
This big old video camera and everything. So when I saw your production setup, I was just floored and so excited for you both.
Yeah, so we've learned a lot, but it was a learning experience for the both of us, because even though we did it for quite some time, we did quite a few episodes. Even though our lives took us down a different path, it was very helpful because we experienced it not just together, but also the process. Right. So I thought, I do believe it prepared us for our next chapters in our own lives.
Absolutely. It's planting seeds, planting ideas, being an iterative evolution of ourselves where every day we're trying something new or improving upon ourselves or putting ourselves out there in some way. And it's so wonderful, miraculous, and amazing to see the through lines of our lives of how something that we were doing well over a decade ago before the technology was even there is a part of our lives today, and how those early actions that we took, those beliefs that we've had in ourselves have come to fruition in our lives in even better ways.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Even it's funny because I sometimes occasionally when I have spare time, I look back at some of our old YouTube episodes, and even just the language has changed. Certain terminology, certain language, fashion obviously changes all the time. But I look back at it and I'm like, wow, we don't say those words anymore. Not that they were bad. Right. It's just the language even changes, and how you articulate your words on film or on screen or during an interview, whether, how you're talking about a certain topic. I can't remember what it was, but I just remember that we were, Bear was in the, so there was a show, an episode, and we invited Laura's dog, Bear, to be a part of it, and he was the cutest. And I just remember, we always try to make it interactive, and I just felt like we were so ahead of our time. We were so ahead of the time. But you have to check it out, Randy. You have to check it out. But enough about the true beauty experience. Let's talk about this true beauty that we have in front of us a little bit more. I mean, obviously, Laura, you're a woman that does it all, and you continue to inspire so many people around you, including myself. And you're a lawyer, an influencer, an author, a public speaker, an owner, a founder of multiple businesses. So tell us what created this entrepreneur passion in you, and how has it been, obviously through the process? Where does the passion come from?
So much of the passion that I have, I think, is in part born innately in me, and the entrepreneurial drive is also something, a part of my history and my family. So I've grown up as a whole family of entrepreneurs, and was one of the first in my family to really go out and have a career outside of entrepreneurship to begin with. And so since I was 3 years old, with coloring books, was attending negotiations and board meetings. And instead of going to preschool, that's what I was doing every day. And I really was just a sponge, absorbing so much information and having this constant inspiration. And so since I can even remember having ideas and thoughts and dreams, it was to build a business and to be the best entrepreneur that I can be. And so I've really architected my life, my education, the experience that I've gained, what I've tried to do in my life and achieve in my life, to consistently bring me more opportunities to be the best version of myself and to be the best entrepreneur that I can be. And so I really have architected so many different things in my life to promote that. And that's been something that has been really on my heart since I can even remember. And then the other thing that's been on my heart since I can remember is having a positive impact on the world. This is something that I have I can feel it within myself, the positive impact that I want to leave on the world. And the way I see that is that if each of us can have the opportunity as an individual to have the best impact on the world that we can, it will have a domino effect beyond our wildest dreams and imaginations that we could even fathom. If each person takes it upon themselves to be the best version of themselves in the world and to have the best impact that they can have on the world, that's going to have a ripple effect that we can't even quantify. Generations, billions of people. And that's why I don't limit myself and my dreams, in that I don't think it's just the people that I'm going to impact in this lifetime. I see that every action that I do, everything that I can do to help others, to be a better person, to create a world around me that's supporting others and having a positive influence, that's going to impact an individual, that's going to impact a whole series of individuals, that's going to impact a whole generation after generation after generation. And so that's what I have a lot of passion, especially at this part of my career, to do, is to utilize what I've done in my life and my career and support others in being able to do that in their lives and their careers, and to be able to achieve what's on their heart and dreams to achieve themselves.
That's right.
Wow.
Can I,
Wow.
do you see? Oh my God, he found it, Laura. Okay, Randy, this is from our old days of True Beauty. Look at that. I think that was done in my house.
Sarah Fawcett.
Yeah. Oh my God, look, we are so young.
So
And
young,
we're babies in this photo. Like, this was a long time ago. Like, this was before the restaurant. This is before I even knew Randy. This was so long ago. But thank you, production team, for locating some footage from the archives from True Beauty YouTube. But it was, again, going, it was those stepping stones. We planted seeds back then, and Laura touched on that, planting seeds and stepping stones. But going back to you, Laura, and your passions, I mean, you are so driven, and I admire that in you tremendously. Always have, since day one, and still to this day. And you continue to just push the needle forward, and you continue to, strive to achieve any goal you set your heart out to, and you're not afraid. And I think that's what's so special about you as a person, that you're not afraid to take those steps. You're not afraid to take that leap into trying something and starting something and being successful at it, because she pours her whole heart into it. And that's the passion. Obviously, I know, but I was, just sharing that with Randy.
I don't think you can be successful without passion.
Agreed.
Right.
Agreed. Yes. Yeah. So you are described as, and this is a line that's that we pulled together. You're described as a farm girl turned entrepreneur, a woman on a mission to change the world, making it your life's work to inspire, support, empower, and celebrate billions of women and entrepreneurs. Tell us why this vision means so much to you, and what was your inspiration?
My vision and inspiration is really, like, going back to what I said before, having the greatest impact that I can have on the world. I am constantly a sponge of information. I'm constantly learning. I consider myself an everyday evolution of myself, every day getting better. And I, especially now in my career, find that I'm in a position of leadership. I have companies, I have teams, I'm creating cultures. I've constantly tried to become a speaker and advocate of making sure that we have a positive culture in our companies and in our communities, a come as you are culture that I really advocate within my own company and community. And we as individuals can have so much impact if we take that ownership of the impact that we can have in the world. So why not have that impact? Why just live for me in this world? Why not live for something so much greater than myself? That is really tied to my purpose in life.
I love that.
Uh,
Let's talk about Flourish, because that was definitely something I thought was such a neat business venture that you started. So kind of just dive into that a little bit more about Flourish co-working space that's located in Westchester, Pennsylvania.
Welcome to Flourish. I'm here at Flourish. This is one of our living walls. We have over 200 live plants in Flourish. And so every business that I create, it's a vision of how I want the world to be, what I feel is missing in the world. And so I first started Dean Street Law. I had grew my team tremendously quickly and needed office space. Our business grew very quickly. And so when I needed office space, I said, well, I could go out and lease some office space and have something for myself, or I could create something and a space in the world that I've envisioned that doesn't exist. And this goes back to law school. This was an idea that I had that I've been evolving since law school, since I was thinking of the entrepreneurial journey that I wanted to have. Creating spaces is very important to me. I want to create a space in the world that nourishes people from the inside out, not something that they just show up to and it's surface level, or even in most office spaces, it can be very draining of your energy. And working in big law, while the office spaces were glitzy and glamoury and, you know, what you see on TV, it still drains you. The lighting drains you. The lack of access to the outdoors drains you. Just even some things as simple as not incorporating movement into the design of a space. So I wanted to create Flourish as a space that nourishes people from the inside out, that creates community and conversation because it feels like home, something we don't see in the office space or in the event space either. It feels like home, but better. It brings the outside in. It uses sustainability, decor choices, and how I envision a nourishing space to be. And it brought it to life. And it's so funny. I find this every so often when I go through my content to just, you know, relive a couple things and see how my life has evolved. I found this video where I took people through a tour of Flourish before renovations, before it was anything. And I said, and here's where you can have standing desks. And here's where we'll have a living wall. And I had such a vision, and it's wild to see how it all came to be in such a wonderful way.
Right. It's an absolutely beautiful facility, Randy. You have to go check it out.
Yeah,
I've had
I
the
will.
honor of visiting Flourish a few times and through since the beginning of it. And it's phenomenal. It's located in Westchester, Pennsylvania, right? What's the main street it's located on? Route 3. And it's this beautiful building. I mean, Laura and her team have done such an incredible job with the upkeep of the space, but just the inside of it, it really is beautiful. I mean, look at you like our flower wall or our greenery in the back.
I love it.
So it reminds me this I don't want to say flower wall, but this greenery background that we have here at Curry Hair, Skin and Nails truly reminds me of your space, your co-working space. Oh, we're going on a tour. Okay, here we go.
Tour. This is Molly.
Oh, this is so great. Hi.
Wow.
I won't take you on too much of a tour because we have coworkers working in the other rooms, but at least give you a little tour.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
That's beautiful. Look at
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah, that's really special. See the fireplace?
Wow.
Show you a little bit from this angle.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Wow.
Isn't it spectacular? Really, just a beautiful co-working space, whether you need to study, whether you need to have a meeting. I mean, look at it. This is Laura, this is the perfect example. You're in a live podcast interview in the space. And that's, this is what it can be used for. So how can one rent? Can you kind of walk us through the process if I wanted to rent the space for whether it's a podcast interview, recording a podcast interview, or having a meeting at that beautiful table space that you have there?
Absolutely. This is the Sunroom. It's one of our most popular meetings for webinars, podcasts, recording, bridal showers, baby showers, graduation parties, all of the things. And so folks can go to our website, flourishcoworking.com. They can see the different options for hosting private events, meetings, corporate gatherings, or they can also attend some of our events. We have seasonal events like a spring festival, fall and winter festivals, as well as networking events and more. So all that's on our website, flourishcoworking.com. And if they would like to co-working is like a gym membership for office space. So you have a flexible membership, or you could rent out an entire office. And we have designated desks as well for permanent, or you can kind of float around and work where you'd like. So all of those memberships are available at flourishcoworking.com.
Such a great
Great,
resource.
yeah.
I wish it existed when I was in college. You mean something of like a facility like this? What we had when we were in college is, just a plain simple room, maybe at the library. And yes, it was something that we had to utilize because we needed just a quiet space. But to have something like this, like that backdrop
Oh,
alone,
yeah.
that's healthy to be next to as well. That's the earth right there. And I love that you have live plants inside that
Yeah.
space.
And that's my farm girl coming through. I want to be a part of the outdoors. I want to be nourished by the environment around me and create an environment that nourishes me, because I have so many things on my heart and mind to do that I need all of the good inputs that I can in life to be able to pour those out into the things that I want to do.
So speaking of the farm girl, let's talk about Ethereal Farms and, a little bit about, what's that all about? Tell us about this lovely place.
Ethereal Farms is a lush, beautiful farm out in Chester County wine country. You'll see the draping hills, the rolling forests, and right next to my fiance and his brother's winery and vineyard, Wayvine Winery and Vineyard. So we have Airbnbs, luxury accommodations where guests can really enjoy a beautiful countryside retreat. They have access to 1,000 acres of hiking. Our fur babies are there. That's a huge attraction. We have horses, mini donkeys, goats, ducklings, chicks, a whole gamut, dogs, cats. That's part of our fur babies. Those are Leo, Fern, Cleo, and Luca right there. So those are a couple of our goats. And we have the whole fur baby family for people to visit. People love to come for a girls' weekend, a romantic getaway with their family, friends, so many different ways to experience it. And it's just a small hike to the winery and vineyard. And the winery and vineyard, Wayvine Winery and Vineyard, has food trucks, live music. During the summer season, it's up to 200 people visiting in a day, and it's a really, really wonderful experience being able to enjoy the countryside but still be accessible to major cities.
That's awesome. What's the website for that? I want to make sure since we're touching on that, we get to that right away.
Absolutely. If anyone would like to book, it's etherealfarms.co.
There you go. Ethereal Farms. We're booking the next Curry Hair, Skin, and Nails event there, right?
Absolutely.
I want to have a reunion with all our guests.
We should have it there.
Yeah.
He's trying to have it at V&M Bistro. While I think it's a wonderful idea, but I will not be enjoying it. I'll be working it. I want to enjoy it. I want to have a glass of wine. Yeah. So I think that we should have it there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have accommodations for, let's see, at least 10. And then we also have anything more than that. It's perfect for you can have it at the winery, and you can have it inside or outdoors. And then anybody staying can stay the night at Ethereal Farms. So it's a great pairing and wonderful to host events or anything like that.
See how neat.
That sounds really good.
Oh my goodness. So I know, Laura, you just are nonstop. And I know that, I want to touch on Dean Street Law a little bit, because I know that we didn't skip over it. We talked about it, but we went right to Flourish Co-working Space and Ethereal Farms. The fun. Well, it's fun, but it's work, right? It's all work. Just kind of go back a little bit. Let's touch on Dean Street Law. What made you want to become an attorney and have your own law firm?
Since I grew up wanting to be the best entrepreneur that I can be, having attended negotiations and board meetings, it was so evident how much law played a factor into business. It's the rules of the game. It's the game you have to play by, rules of the game that you have to play by. It's the fabric of business. It influences every business decision. And I wanted to have a very solid understanding of laws to enable me to be the best entrepreneur that I could be. And also, at that time, and even still now, access to legal information is not easy. You had to go to law school to have access to true legal information. And I would always do that as my decision no matter what. Now, thankfully, there is considerably more access to legal information. And I'm very passionate about sharing access to legal information through my online courses and my resources that I have. I just launched Acquisition Insights, which is a legal guide, a course with over 80 videos on the legal aspects of buying a business. And it includes all of our contract templates as well as strategic consulting options. So through Dean Street Law, I've negotiated over $10 billion of transactions. Tons of multi-million and multi-billion dollar transactions, all corporate law. We specialize in mergers and acquisitions, corporate formation, corporate negotiations, and corporate contracts. So all of those are really at the heart of what we do at Dean Street Law. I wanted to be able to have that experience myself to be the best entrepreneur that I can be. And now I've made those accessible through courses and resources so that others can have access to that information so that they can make informed decisions and position themselves for success as an entrepreneur.
I am so proud of you.
Oh, yeah.
I literally am beaming from ear to ear right now. So I have to share a little quick story. So when I met Laura, she actually sought me out because she was competing in the Miss Pennsylvania USA pageant. And I knew she was looking for a pageant coach, someone to help guide her. And that's how we met.
Wow.
And I never met her before that. And I started to train her and prepare her for the pageant. Well, we hit it off right away. It was like instant friendship from the beginning. And we just always remained close. And I remember that Laura was in law school at the time. I remember she was going through the process, and it was a grueling process going through law school and then taking her bar in Delaware and in Pennsylvania. And I just remember her going through all those, it's like the roller coaster, right, of life. And I remember her going through it, and she was in school, she was doing amazing things. And then she was still, preparing for a pageant, which she was very successful at. The last pageant you competed in, from I remember, first runner up,
Wow.
Miss Pennsylvania USA, first runner up. Do you know that's a big deal, Randy? Thousands of girls go out for that title. Pennsylvania's a big state.
Right.
Bigger than Delaware. Okay. You know that, right? Bigger than Delaware. That's huge.
Wow.
And I was just so proud of her and everything that she has accomplished. And, we always remained close and we remained friends and through all of our lives. But, that's really how we connected. And to see, and hear you speak on everything that you've accomplished. I mean, Laura, really, you're an inspiration to women, to anyone. And, that's something that I wanted to pause and highlight. I don't know if you know, but it's truly an inspiration. And to watch your growth in your career, in school, career, life. And last year she, told me she was engaged, and I was like, oh my gosh, congratulations. So she's really conquering the world, but it gets better. You ready for this? Wait, it gets better. Laura, do you want to share it?
Absolutely. I am so excited to share that I will be competing at the Miss Pennsylvania USA 2024 pageant.
Wow.
So with the new rules, they eliminated the age limit.
Wow.
So now she's eligible to compete again.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible? Yeah. Let's just add a pageant to the mix again, right? Let's just.
When will they take place?
Let's talk about it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, June 28th to the 29th. It'll be in Johnstown, Pennsylvania. I am so excited. When someone told me that the eligibility rules changed, I started crying. I was so excited. I have told Vincenza time and time again over the last decade how much I miss Miss Pennsylvania USA, how much I miss the pageant, how much I would love to compete again, would love to be a part of it again. It's been a chapter of my life that I've always wanted to revisit. And so to know that the eligibility has changed, I'm able to compete again, just makes me so, so happy.
Isn't that remarkable?
I'm from near Johnstown, Evansburg.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Be right in your neighborhood.
Yeah. So we have to head home. We're going to mark our calendars. But that's truly amazing, Laura. And I wanted to make sure that, we obviously touched on the pageant background a little bit more. And we're so, so happy for you and, taking on, this pageant journey again, competing for Miss Pennsylvania USA 2024, which is super exciting and something that you are just doing it all, my dear. And that's a testament of age is just a number. Right. You can do it all. You can, especially as an entrepreneur, a businesswoman, an attorney, a soon-to-be wife, bride-to-be. Like you can do it all. You really can, and that's important for anyone listening or tuning in. That even though life is stressful, life may be hard. You have goals, go for it. Yeah. Just do it. Get out there, follow your dreams. I'm a big dreamer. Laura knows that about me and I know that about her, but that's, we need to see more Lauras out there. Yeah, achieving not being afraid, get out there and do it, learn about it. So Laura, I do have another follow-up question for you. As someone who's very busy, as you especially, how do you do it all? And adding a pageant to the mix, how are you able to juggle everything?
As I like to think about it, and that's the number one question I get asked quite a lot. As I like to think about it, I'm an everyday evolution of myself. I don't put the pressure on myself that I have to be working on every single thing in my life every day. I think of it as my life is a garden. And as I plant seeds over here, the sun is nourishing all the work that I've already done here. And everything is growing, and I'm not neglecting a certain area of my life just because I'm putting energy into something else. And then as long as I give my ideas and projects in life the appropriate prioritization and time and attention that they need, they all have, and the resources, they all have the opportunity to succeed. So with my businesses, I build an idea, I bring it into life, I build systems and processes, bring it into our physical reality, build it out, build teams around it, create automations. There's so much that you can do in automations and systems and processes to make these things so much more lean than they've ever been in the world, which is an incredible thing. I'm very in tune with operational excellence in my businesses, and that creates a lot of flow and ease. And whenever I feel friction in my life, whether it's I'm not working out the way I want to, or I have a lot of stress around a certain issue, I really dig into that as me, my body, my life, my projects, my work, communicating with me about what needs to be addressed. And then I really focus on addressing that and reduce that friction. But I build things a little bit at a time. And it's all about planting seeds like we talked about previously. It's putting your energy into something and then being okay that it doesn't have to be perfect yet. And also, I really think that if you are someone with integrity who produces excellence in your life, you will produce excellence in what you're endeavoring in, even if you don't know how, even if you don't know what you need to do to get there. But you consistently, if that's a through line in your life, don't be afraid to tackle something new just because you can't see yet how it will be what you want it to be, because that's part of the journey, is just taking those next steps and following that path and figuring out things as you go. I'm really a fan of being an everyday evolution and just not trying to have everything be the way I envision it being in the future, but rather taking that next step myself of what I can. And I created a whole bunch of resources around this. It's called Wild Ambition. It's all on my website. I have a course a workbook, a workshop all around this. And I'm actually publishing a book on it this year as well, all about how I consider lifestyle design. And I consider it as a Renaissance woman. It's great that you have multiple interests. There's, a lot of rhetoric that you focus on one thing and only be disciplined and only do one thing. I think that we all share stories about what works for us based on our own experiences. What works for me is that I feed different areas and projects in my life, and that multiple projects going on at the same time fulfills different parts of me. And then as a whole, they all rise, they all flourish all together.
You mentioned working out like this. That's the way you get energy back through working out, or?
I love that question. I really focus on the inputs to understand the outputs. One common question I get is, do you sleep? Absolutely. Sleep is one of the most important inputs in my life. Working out, when you're running on all cylinders, it's easy to carry a heavy load. Imagine being the best version of yourself, the strongest, most fit, healthiest version of yourself. How easy it is to move forward through life, no matter what weight you're carrying or no matter what you're envisioning accomplishing in life. When you're running on all cylinders, your health, your mental health, your physical health, your nutrition, your hydration, your sleep, when all of those inputs are filled up, you have so much energy to give. And I don't drink coffee, so I really focus on making sure that the inputs that I need in life are what I have. And that's not to say that I'm constantly in the perfect balance in life. I am a go-getter, I'm ambitious, and there may be projects where I say, I'm going to sacrifice a little bit here, knowing that I need to make it up or I need to address it and it's not sustainable long-term. But I believe that when you're thinking about balance in your life, it's a pendulum, and it's okay to swing back and forth on that pendulum as long as you're very self-aware. And really that biofeedback and that focus on biofeedback enables me to be able to accomplish so much, because I'm constantly aware of what I need and what my body needs to be able to have the output in life that I want. But it's all a matter of what's your input in life, what's your environment. Are you creating an environment that nourishes you? Are you surrounding you with people and content and social media that nourishes you? Or are all of those things creating friction in your life? And the things that create friction in your life are going to slow you down and may even become roadblocks or stumbling blocks in your journey.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
There you go.
Do you meditate also?
Mm-hmm.
I consider everything in my toolbox as available to me, and I return to it as needed. So journaling, meditation, I hike a lot. Probably hiking on my farm and spending time with my animals is what I do the most of. And I ride horses. So to me, those are active meditations. So I probably actively meditate 70% more than I passively meditate by sitting and listening to something. But I do meditate. All of those things are tools in my toolbox that I use as I feel called and as I feel like I need as part of my inputs to restore myself and give myself the energy and balance and wholeness that I need to continue what I'm looking to achieve in my life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I like how you put it. It's more so you've made it a part of your everyday routine. So, going on a hike can be a form of meditating because you're focusing in the moment, but you're also clearing your mind from the noise. So that could be almost like a form of meditation. So you make it a part of your everyday life. And I know that you've always been very in tune with your health. That's something that I've learned a lot from Laura, is that she's very in tune with her health and her nutrition. And that's something that you made it a part of your everyday life. And Randy and I talk about it all the time about, practicing good habits, whether it's meditating. Randy's big on meditating and yoga. I believe in it as well. But also just making it part of an everyday routine. But touching on health and obviously fitness, but more so health and nutrition, Laura's very in tune with that. I've learned so much about being conscious about what you're putting in your body, more, foods that come from the earth, plants and herbs and natural ingredients, fresh ingredients are very good for your body. And Laura's taught me a lot about that. It's good for your health. I'm sure we could speak on that for another hour.
It all came from the pageant. And that was that. I mean, I've always been fairly healthy inclined, but that really helped me to dive in. I like to really deep dive into different topics. I read so many books. I've already read almost 30 books so far this year in the last not even 3 months of the year. And so I love to go on deep dives into things. And one of the things that I did in preparing for the Miss Pennsylvania USA pageant a long time ago was I really dived into nutrition and how whole foods. I do plant-based, but I encourage everybody to do whatever works for them. Whole foods, plant-based, and plant-based could be omnivore. It just may mean that you have a lot of plants in your diet. Works to really give your body the energy, nutrition, the fundamental building blocks that it needs to operate at a high level.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you go. Well, Laura, we're starting to wind down. I'm looking at the time and I'm like, oh my goodness, we could keep talking obviously over the hour, but I know that we're starting to wind down, and I know that we definitely had the opportunity to share a glimpse of everything you do. Just a glimpse. Remember, this is just a glimpse of Dean Street Law, Ethereal Farms, Flourish Co-working Space, and obviously Miss Pennsylvania USA, which, you know, we wish you so much luck as you open up this chapter again, which is really awesome. And never giving up. That's the takeaway is that you had a dream, and it's almost like you're bringing it back to life, and you're like, I'm not done yet here. I'm not done over here. That was just put on pause, but we're bringing it back to life. But at the end of all of our podcast interviews, Laura, we always like to ask all of our guests this traditional question. So I'm going to ask you the question, and that is, if you could chat with anyone from the past or present, who would that be and why on a podcast?
I would love to chat with both Oprah and Joanna Gaines. They've both built incredible empires. And let's add Reese Witherspoon to it while we're at it.
Oh yeah, Reese Witherspoon, yeah.
Incredible empires of businesses and communities that have a tremendous impact, support a lot of people, and are really engaging and fun and inspiring to me. So all three of them are incredible female entrepreneurs that I would love to chat with. And I love the podcast format because you can ask any question, get into the details. I would love to ask them so many different questions about their lifestyle design, their businesses, their entrepreneurship, their vision. All of them inspire me tremendously in my life.
Yeah, those are some good ones.
Yeah, they're really good.
Yeah, no, really good ones. I really admire how Reese Witherspoon has shifted her life a little bit, and in a good way. She still does production and acting, and she still has a presence in in film, but she's really shifted her world a lot. I think it's called Hello Sunshine.
Yes. A publishing arm where she supports authors in publishing their books. She also purchases the rights and options to have anything that's a book or something like that she's interested in moving into her production arm. It's brilliant, and it provides voices and elevates voices of those who need to be heard.
Isn't that neat? Yeah, it's really good. I'm glad you touched on Reese Witherspoon as well. Obviously, Oprah, an umpire in itself. But I just recently learned more about Reese Witherspoon and how she's kind of transitioned and changed her life and shifted. She uses her resources that she's developed over the years, but she shifted it in a way to make it more intentional. And I appreciate that approach.
And she has a Delaware connection. Her first husband was from Delaware. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, she does have a Delaware connection. Oh, that's so true.
Small town. Right?
Small town. That's right. Well, Laura, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to be on our Pronto podcast. And for those of you listening and tuning in, make sure you check out Laura's, I'm going to start with at Laura DiFrancesco. Yeah, that's right. Yep. That's your personal page. And then you have at Dean Street Law, and at Flourish Westchester, that's the co-working space. And then at Ethereal Farms, and that's how would you describe that? That's like a venue that you can rent out for parties and events?
So Flourish, you can rent out for parties and events. Ethereal Farms has luxury Airbnbs, and it's
Airbnb. That's right.
next to Wayvine Winery and Vineyard, which you can have parties and events at.
There you go. Okay. I'm thinking at the parties with the wine already. 'Cause that's what we're going to have. So we're going to have the reunion, the Pronto reunion at Wayvine Farms and stay
Wayvine Winery and
Wayvine Winery and stay at the Airbnb, or we'll just go to, we should just go to Flourish. I think that might be better for us.
Have it at Flourish. Would love to have you.
I think we should have it at Flourish. All right, we're going to talk about this some more.
And make us a promise that you're going to be back after you win Miss Pennsylvania.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
Randy's speaking it into existence for you. Thank you, Randy.
Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that.
Oh my gosh. Well, again, Laura, good luck as you pursue the crown to Miss Pennsylvania USA. Good luck with all of your endeavors and everything that you are continuing to thrive in. We appreciate your time. Wow. Just another great interview.
Yeah.
This is so great.
I can't believe how many things she has going.
I know. Well, yeah, she's a dynamic woman. I mean, as you know, I've watched her blossom. I mean, since when she reached out to me for pageant coaching, and this was like so many years ago, I wasn't even the director of Miss Delaware USA. The restaurant didn't even exist. I didn't even know you. Like, it was just such a long time ago. It was at a different time in life, and to see her blossom and to see her grow into this dynamic woman that she is, I mean, so remarkable, really, and everything that she is achieving, and she's breaking those barriers, and she's setting that example, and she's leading by example, which I admire so much in her. Even though I am older than her and I mentored her at one time in her life, I look to her for mentorship now. And I love that friendship. I love that, that she's truly a remarkable woman that mentors me in everything that I do.
Yeah, it's like we often talked about, like, people come into your life and you don't realize, what they're there for.
Right.
And then some people stick around for a long time, and some people just change your life that day.
Yes,
and move on.
That's true. That's true. And, and you have to treasure those friendships that you have so close, treasure them and protect them. Yep. And that's really, really important. And wow, just another great show, another great guest. It keeps getting better and better. And we have to stay tuned for the next Pronto podcast, which I think is coming up in April. I think it's April 8th. I think that's the date, but stay tuned for the next episode. We have a lineup of guests that we will be just unrolling. Oh yeah. This is one for the books this year. Yeah. 2024 is just set. We're setting the world on fire here with our Pronto podcast. You see that we have our social media platform. Check us out on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Our Pronto podcast is live. Our Instagram page and our Facebook page is live. Go check us out. Shoot us a follow. The website is coming along. We were just talking about it before we started filming, but you can visit us on all of the podcast platforms. You can listen to past podcasts with some great people, some influential leaders. Check out Spotify, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Podcasters, Apple Music, Facebook Live, YouTube, you name it. We're everywhere. We're just conquering the world left and right. I love it.
Right next to True Beauty.
True Beauty. Oh my goodness. Watch. Randy's going to go look it all up. He's going to watch every episode. He's going to be like, Vincenza, you've grown a lot. I mean, I know how to do my hair now. So, oh my goodness. This is so great. You know what? I'm glad that I experienced that moment in my life, and I experienced it with Laura, because we were at a point in our life where we were learning and growing, and it was so great to grow together and learn together at a time where podcasts did not exist. I mean, TikTok did not even exist. That's how long ago it was. But we were truly ahead of our time. And now looking at that time and then comparing it to today, present day, we are very lucky with the technology we have, and it's so accessible to us. We can just go on Amazon and order a ring light, and it's there in a day. that was impossible back in that time when we were filming True Beauty. And we had this big camera. I remember it fell one time. It was a nightmare. And it was like, how are we going to manage? I have to return this.
I'm just happy that we can bring stuff up. Like, it's really nice to talk about something and
oh, yes.
Here it is.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us for our Pronto podcast. Stay tuned for our 27th episode that will be coming up in the next couple of weeks, and all of our guests that will have a great lineup. All right, Randy.
All right.
Pronto, Randy.
Pronto, Vincenza.